Should you pull for Jing Yuan's banner? Well, the short answer is yes, you absolutely should, especially if you're free to play, as this banner contains some amazing characters that everyone should own at least one copy of, starting with Jing Yuan. So Jing Yuan is an extremely strong lightning character that will fit that main DPS role in your party, and who will also be the premier lightning character, as right now we have 4 lightning characters, 2 of which are supports, and the other 2 being firstly Arlen, who is not that good at all due to his HP mechanics and such, and then we have Servo, who's decent at the early game but does start to fall off as you go throughout the game, and so that's where Jing Yuan comes in, offering some of the highest AoE damage in the game with all his abilities doing AoE damage, and even the ability to summon the Lightning Lord that will aid you in battle, dealing, yep, you guessed it, AoE damage to the enemies on attack. Now this AoE damage is really good, especially in an auto battle team where you're farming materials, as he can quickly deal with the waves of mobs that come, especially also with his ultimate, which, did I mention, it's probably the coolest animation in the game. And so Jing Yuan is amazing, and he'll be a great addition to any teams needing a solid lightning damage dealer. But you want to know the crazy thing? Well, he isn't even the best character on the banner. No, that goes to Jing Yuan, who we'll talk about very shortly, but let's talk about Shushan first. So Shushan is great. She doesn't get talked about too much, but she's an amazing physical forcer that has some great single target DPS and a great skill that firstly deals some damage and has a 1 out of 3 chance to deal an extra attack that can deal some amazing damage, especially weakness damage, and if their toughness bar is already broken, then this will go from a 33% chance to a 100% chance to deal that extra attack, which is crazy good for damage. Her ultimate is also really good, as it deals decent damage, but more importantly, it gives her pretty much an extra turn, which is really nice, as if you can time the ultimate with a toughness bar break, then you'll be able to use her skill straight after and benefit from that 100% chance to deal that extra attack. Now, if you already have Shushan, then don't worry, because her add-ons are also worth going for, especially her E1 that will give her an extra skill point, as well as her E4 and E6 that will improve her break effect and make her talent stackable, which can give you so much speed, which is really nice on Shushan, as she benefits so much from the extra speed, being able to use her skill more often, which means she has a higher chance of triggering that sweet effect. Also, being a physical damage character, she is really the only good semi-free to play one in Honkai Star Rail right now, as Clara is really good, but she's a gacha character, and so there's only the physical trailblazer left, and the physical trailblazer is pretty bad and is usually much more recommended to use the fire version once you get it. And so overall, Shushan is a very strong physical damage dealer, especially for a free to play player. But now we reach March 7th. So March 7th is a really good character that offers some of the best shielding in the game with a skill that can be a lifesaver against certain enemies, especially in the early game when you don't have much tank characters. She'll be the best one for you. Now her ultimate too is quite nice, as it will be able to freeze the enemies, which is nice especially in the simulated universe where you can find many buffs to increase your character's damage against frozen enemies. But now March 7th is a character that we already have unlocked. She's one of the basic characters that you get at the start of the game, so you don't have to summon for her, but you could also summon for some of her add-ons, of which her E1 restores energy based on how many targets she freezes, which is really good in AoE scenarios, but her E2 is definitely something you want to go for if you play March 7th, as it will give a very strong shield to the ally whose HP percentage is the lowest upon entering the battle, which is really nice for your team's survivability. And so overall, while she is the weakest out of everyone on this banner, she is still worth going for, especially if you use her a lot. But now we reach the best character on this banner, and I would recommend, even if you're not that interested in Jing Yuan, it is still worth summoning on this banner just for Jing Yuan. And so what makes Jing Yuan so good? Well, there's a few things. The first is her skill, which grants an ally an amazing attack buff and the ability to deal extra lightning damage upon attacking, and this buff lasts 3 turns. So the skill is extremely good on your carry. It's one of the best attack buffs in the entire game and will be very important to have, especially if you don't have Bronya, or honestly, even if you do, it's still good to have Jing Yuan on the field. Now her ultimate will restore 50 energy to an ally and increase their damage for 2 turns. So this is just insane. The damage buff alongside the attack is just so good on your carries to have. Also, the energy regen is amazing. If we take someone like Sealy, she requires 120 energy for for her ultimate, so you're almost giving half of your energy requirement, and actually if you get Jing Yuan's E6, it will give you 10 more energy, so you'll actually literally give half of Seele's ultimate cost, which is crazy. Her other eidolons will improve her skill with her E1 giving a speed boost whenever the ally with benediction, which is her skill, casts their ultimate. And so overall, Jing Yuan is a must pull for everyone to have at least one copy of her, as she is such a great buffer for your team. And so overall, this banner is looking to be an absolute amazing banner with not only the very powerful Jing Yuan, but also the 4 stars on this banner, with Jing Yuan especially being an absolute necessity. And so if you have any stellar jades left over, then I would highly recommend pulling on this banner, and if you do, I wish you all the best in your pulls. Thank you for watching.